Washington's crossing of the Delaware River. From Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, at en.wikipedia.org. Washington's crossing of the Delaware River, which occurred on December the 25th, 1776, during the American Revolutionary War, was the first move in a surprise attack organized by George Washington against the Hessian forces in Trenton, New Jersey. Planned in partial secrecy, Washington led a column of Continental Army troops across the icy Delaware River in a logistically challenging and potentially dangerous operation. Other planned crossings in support of the operation were either called off or ineffective, but this did not prevent Washington from successfully surprising and defeating the troops of Johann Rall quartered in Trenton. The army crossed the river back to Pennsylvania, this time burdened by prisoners and military stores taken as a result of the battle. Washington's army then crossed the river a third time at the end of the year, under conditions made more difficult by the uncertain thickness of the ice on the river. They defeated British reinforcements under Lord Cornwallis on January 2, 1777, and defeated his rearguard at Princeton, before retreating to winter quarters in Morristown, New Jersey. Contents. This article has 13 sections. Section 1. Background. Section 2. Washington's Army. Section 3. Planning the attack. Section 4. Watercraft. Section 5. Crossing. Section 6. Attack. Section 7. Return to Pennsylvania. Section 8. Third crossing. Section 9. Legacy. Section 10. See also. Section 11. Notes. Section 12. References. Section 13. External links. Section 1. Background. While 1776 had begun well for the American cause, with the evacuation of British troops from Boston in March, the defence of New York City had gone quite poorly. British General William Howe had landed troops on Long Island in August and had pushed George Washington's Continental Army completely out of New York by mid-November, when he captured the remaining troops on Manhattan. Howe then sent troops under the command of Charles Cornwallis across the Hudson River into New Jersey and chased Washington across New Jersey. Washington's army was shrinking due to expiring enlistments and desertions, and suffered from poor morale due to the defeats in the New York area. Most of Washington's army crossed the Delaware River into Pennsylvania north of Trenton, New Jersey, and destroyed or moved to the western shore all boats for miles in both directions. Howe and Cornwallis, rather than attempting to immediately chase Washington further, established a chain of outposts from New Brunswick to Burlington, including ones at Bordentown and Trenton, and ordered his troops into winter quarters. Section 2. Washington's Army. Washington encamped the army near McConkey's Ferry, not far from the crossing site. While Washington at first took quarters across the river from Trenton, he moved on December the 15th to the house of William Keith to be closer to the army. When Washington's army first arrived at McConkey's Ferry, he had 4,000 to 6,000 men, although 1,700 soldiers were unfit for duty and needed hospital care. In the retreat across New Jersey, Washington had lost precious supplies, as well as losing contact with two important divisions of his army. General Horatio Gates was in the Hudson River Valley, and General Charles Lee was in western New Jersey with 2,000 men. Washington had ordered both generals to join him, but Gates was delayed by heavy snows en route, and Lee, who did not have a high opinion of Washington, delayed following repeated orders, preferring to remain on the British flank near Morristown, New Jersey. Washington had additional problems, including the fact that the enlistments of many of his men were expiring. The series of lost battles and the retreat from New York had left morale very low in Philadelphia, where many residents and the Second Continental Congress fled to the south. Many soldiers were inclined to leave the army once their commission was finished, and several had taken the opportunity to desert the army before their enlistments were up. Orders were issued to bring supplies to the camp, and men were dispatched to recruit new soldiers, who did slowly begin to arrive at the camp. Militia recruiting in both New Jersey and Pennsylvania was also successful, spurred on by British and Hessian mistreatment of New Jersey's residents. Morale was given a boost on December the 19th by the publication of a new pamphlet by Thomas Paine. Common Sense had served to increase support for the revolution in its early days, and Paine's new pamphlet, titled The American Crisis, began with words well known to American school children. Quote, "These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of his country. But he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of a man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered, yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph." End quote. Within a few days of its publication in Philadelphia, General Washington ordered it to be read to his troops. While Paine's writing could not feed or shelter the troops, it did serve to improve morale and help them feel a little more tolerant of their current conditions. Some provisions, including much-needed blankets, arrived in the Continental Army camp on Christmas Eve. On December the 20th, an event took place that gave another boost to morale. General Lee's division of 2,000 arrived in camp under the command of General John Sullivan. General Lee had been captured by the British on December the 12th, when he ventured too far outside the protection of his troops in search of more comfortable lodgings, or, according